And football fans, a pleasant good evening, good Thursday evening, as we are about to start our 2017 fall sports season. Hello again, everyone. I'm Bob Cohn, and along with head Virginia hockey coach Reed Larson, we're about to bring you the season opener, or the home opener, I should say, for the Virginia Blue Devils against the Mesabi East Giants. Reed, real quickly before we get to the national anthem, Blue Devils come off a big victory over the Falls last Friday night, or last Thursday night, I think it was.
Yeah, absolutely, Bob. Talking with some of the coaches here today, boy, are they excited. It's been a little while since we've won the first game of the season, and a lot of excitement going into this game because it's a game they think they can win.
Okay. Thanks, Reed, and we'll be talking more with Reed in a few moments. Right now, we're going to let you enjoy the playing and the singing of the national anthem. It'll be sung tonight by Virginia High School student Cole Howard. This is Blue Devil football from Ewens on this Thursday night before a nice crowd and a beautiful 69 degrees. So the Blue Devils come in with a 29-6 victory over the Falls Broncos a week ago. Virginia last year was 3-6 on the season. Like you said, there is a lot of high expectations this year here at the home of the Blue Devils.
Yeah, no question about it, Bob. That goes with all sports this year. This is a really interesting class of students that we have coming through right now. Some real talent, real promising for all sports here at Virginia High School, and particularly to start it off here in the fall. We know we've got some talent on the field, and there are definitely high expectations.
8 seniors playing for the Blue Devils. I look at the roster, 8 seniors, 14 juniors, and 16 sophomores. I also talked to Coach Kramers before, and I noticed that there are 24 7th graders making the trip next Tuesday where they're playing. 24 kids in 7th grade. That's phenomenal.
Yeah, no, that's great. Coming from the last couple of years where we've had some problems with numbers, again, not only in football, but in all sports, we've had some problems with numbers. It sure is nice. Let's try to keep kids involved in football over the course of the next few years. And I think winning games is going to help out.
Here we go, we're all set, and this is Josh Doherty kicking off for the Blue Devils, taken near the 20-yard line, turned out over the 30 to about the 35-yard line. Returned by number 5, Cole Meyer. Cole is a 5'9", 160-pound sophomore. Let's check that Blue Devil defense now. They got some size up front with those big kids. They got 2 kids, 6'5", 6'7", so they got some size in that defensive front four.
Yeah, no question about it. When you got Ethan Russo on the right end, you got Bullfoy on the other, and you got big Bryce Kennedy in the middle. Holy smokes, you're going to have some issues.
Giants will start first and 10. Tyler Baraboo is the quarterback. Meyer comes in motion, and we got the 5-yard penalty on the Giants. Someone moved in that line.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about that the front three with size there, but there's definitely some grit there in the next layer back with some guys that like to hit. We talked a lot about Carter Crandall last year and how hard he hits guys coming through the line. The depth is what's really interesting when you take a look at the depth chart.
Steve Graham's the head coach of the Giants. He's in his 10th year at Mesabi. He's coming out wide is Easton Suler. He's wide to the left side. They go with a spread formation. Ryder comes in motion, hand off to the first man through, and there's no place to go. Lots of blue jerseys in on the stop.
Yeah, there's nothing like watching pursuit of the football. That means they're excited. They're at home. They're in front of their own crowd. And you get ball pursuit like that, that should be exciting with the guys in the next layer that don't have to worry too much about it right out of the gate.
Lost of 2. The ball carrier was number 7, John Gravett. John is a 5'11", 175-pound senior. Again, the Giants have come out with the spread. They've got 4 wide, 2 on each side. Baraboo from the shotgun. Baraboo looks, little pop, and it's incomplete. Trying to hit number 20. That was Josh James from the slot position, and it's going to be 3rd and long. Let's check that Blue Devil. Besides Foy and Russo and the big guy Kennedy, they've got number 28 there, and that is Tanner Hitzman. Pretty tough kid. Those are the front 4. We'll check the linebackers and the defensive secondary when time allows us. Again, here comes spread on both sides. Baraboo's rolling, cuts in, and he gets taken down after a very short gain. Now I guess they're going to put him back a couple of yards.
Well, you certainly don't have to worry about the size like you talked about. You have 3 huge guys there on the front line there, but you got Tanner Hitzman there, and you don't be taken back by the littler frame compared to those 2 guys. He's got some grit. Tough kid.
Bialke and Fink are back deep to receive. Punts away. This is going to be Bialke fielding it at the 42, reads his blocking, gets to midfield and falls forward to the Giants 48. That's a nice read by Bialke on the punt. Watched his blocking, then got a nice return.
Well, we had a few conversations, Bob, last year about that sophomore class and how they contributed even when we got into situations last year where maybe we were getting beat or we were beating somebody by a little bit too much, and that sophomore class came in and played. Those kids have a year of experience now. They're older. There's a lot of depth in that junior class this year, and exciting to see some of these guys contribute even more this year.
The Devils have wideouts on both sides. Zubitz rolling to his left, looking now, throwing the ball long downfield, and it is incomplete. He tried to hit Josh Doherty. Josh is a flanker on this Blue Devil offense. We'll check the Blue Devil offense. Riley Dishner is the Blue Devil center. Left guard is Jordan Checo. The left tackle is Bryce Kennedy. Right guard is Anton Lebet. And the right tackle is Tyler Herbert. The tight end is Ethan Uso. The flanker is Josh Doherty. Quarterback, Jack Zubitz. The wide receiver is Nate Fink, and here is Bialke getting the hand off him. Bialke is off to the races down the sidelines, and Baraboo will force him out of bounds. Huge run by number 5.
The number 5 contributing right away. It's kind of weird saying number 5 because I'm used to 27 and 8 during the hockey season. He flips his number more than anybody I know, but gotta love the kid right out of the gates here. Nice read on that first punt return, kick return, and then he gets right in here and contributes right away and gets a good 20 to 25 yard run in there.
Officially, it was 33. It's a first down. The ball went from the 48 to the 15-yard line. Blue Devils have it at the left hash mark. They got Fink out wide to the left, Doherty to the right. Offside Mesabi East, and Virginia's going to get 5 free yards.
We'll take any yards we can get, Bob.
Look at the sun setting over there in the west. It's going to cool down now, won't that sun goes down.
And we'll take it because, boy, it's hot up here in the press box when that sun's shining right in our face.
First and 5 from the 10-yard line. Doherty is the motion man. Pitch coming this way is Bialke trying to get to the edge, and he's not going to go anyplace. Defensively, a huge play by Luke Nicholson.
Well, that was easily read by the defense there, Bob. They saw exactly what was happening. Clearly, they took charge when they were watching film and recognized that play right there out of the gates. Little regroup here for the Blue Devils.
Doing the Virginia kicking this year is going to be Josh Doherty. They graduated Connor Cusick, one of the better kickers that they've had in a long time, and we'll see how 86 does handling the kickoff and the extra points. Fink is out wide, hand off the first man through. That's Hinsman, and he'll get back the yardage that was lost, plus a couple.
Sitting at third and quite a few here, about 3rd and 8.
About 3rd down and 8 for the Blue Devils.
But just after the first down, you've only got a couple of yards left and you're right into the end zone here.
Up front for the Giants, 65, Preston Carlson, 64, Sam Chapman, a pair of 230 and 260 linemen.
This is some good dudes, too.
Uso will spread out wide to the left. From the shotgun, now Bialke goes in motion, and we've got a legal procedure called on the Blue Devils.
The two guys moving right there on the play, illegal procedure.
Jim Johnson is the official in charge tonight. He's got the white cap on. It's going to be 3rd and long, passing situation for Virginia. At least you'd think they'd pass, but with Bialke's speed, you never know.
They've got a little bit more of a double attack this year with Zupitz with a pretty good arm, and Bialke's pretty dangerous back there as well, so definitely more options.
Bialke in motion. Here's Zupitz throwing the ball for Uso. They go up for it, and it's incomplete.
Well, this is where we thought maybe last year we were in a little different scenario where we had Cusick, we could get a field goal here. It'd definitely be interesting to see how we're going to go after plays that are this close to the end zone, but just not quite close enough to run it in. Looks like we're going to keep going after it without bringing in the field goal team.
4th and about 14, 8:05 to go in our opening quarter. This is Virginia's initial possession of the game. Giants had it for 3 and out. Now the Blue Devils have 2 wide over on the wide side. That's the left. Uso now will set over on the far side. High formation. Zupitz now reading his block. He's going to go down 65 with a stop, and that was Preston Carlson.
On a stop, number 65, Preston Carlson. Giants will take over.
Giants will take over on downs, and now the Blue Devil defense will see if they can come up again with a stop as we have a little field possession
22-yard line.
early on here.
Their own 22.
You're definitely going to be sitting on the good side of the field here. We're going to have to maintain that here for 4 downs and out and hope for that field position that we are looking for that you just mentioned.
Ed Kramer's the head coach of Virginia in his 11th year at Virginia High School. Man comes in motion, and we've got a 2-minute motion again on the Giants. This will be their 3rd penalty already.
False start against the Giants.
First game of the season for the Giants. Again, the 2nd game for Virginia. Giants will travel to Hinckley next Friday night to take on the Jaguars. They don't get home until the week after the 15th against Deer River.
2 road games right out of the gate. That's a tough start.
Blue Devils will be back home again next Friday night as they will host Moose Lake Willow River. First and 15 for the Giants. Again, the Giants go with this spread with 4 wide, 2 on each side. Baraboo over the middle, pop pass, and it was tipped, deflected away. They tried to hit Cole Meyer. Those are the type of passes that someone can intercept.
Yeah, you get that quick little slant play that comes through the middle there, and not only are they easy sometimes to grab and intercept, but sometimes it's easy to catch a guy off guard and jump in that play right away and make the hit right on time. I know they've changed some of the tackling rules here just this last year. I've had a couple of conversations with Coach Green and Coach Trico about some of the tackling rules. We're going to have to talk about that at break.
Here comes a man's in motion, and the ball carrier gets tripped up. Defensive play that time was made by 71, Tyler Herbert. Played well for about 4. Now the Giants are forced into a passing situation. Look at the wind. Got a little bit of a breeze out of the south. Not much, not too much of an effect in the passing or punting tonight. Again, Baraboo from the shotgun. Taylor rolling to the right. He's going to just keep it. Now he's going to throw the ball, and it's incomplete.
Boy, he's lucky that he even got outside the pocket for that one. That could have been intentional grounding. He barely got outside of it.
Bring up 4th down 11 for the Giants.
I think it was a really shifting personnel around. Now dropping back to receive this punt will be Chris Mason, along with Chris Bialke. Also knows in the defensive line, they made some changes. Herbert and the Becker in that defensive front four. Giving a chance to rotate some kids, keep them as fresh as possible.
Yeah, I think that could be a strength for the Blue Devils this year, contrary to maybe what's been the last few years. We definitely have a little bit more depth.
Blue Devils on the bad snap will get the ball near the 16-yard line to start their next possession. Bad snap to a punter that time, John Gravett. And Virginia, with the shift of the field position now, are in business.
The Blue Devils take over on the Giants' 15-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Blue Devils. For the Giants,
Ball's on the right hash mark. Probably something going to go to the wide side of the field with your burner. Bialke, number 5.
I think they'd want to go that direction.
Bialke gets the hand up, reads his blocking, and now he cuts back and got inside the 15 to about the 14.
On a stop, number 7, John Gravett.
John Gravett, one of 8 seniors that the Giants have on the stop. Now Tommy Carmody will go out wide to the left, Mason to the right. Bialke coming to the short side, and he'll get near the 10-yard line. And the first guy got Virginia now with 32 yards of offense here in this first quarter.
Something's got to happen here real quick, Bob. This is just kind of back and forth, tug of war here, right in the same area of the field. Something's going to have to happen.
Again, the Giants jump, and they'll give Virginia a first down.
There's nothing worse than getting penalty after penalty. It's just one of those things that shows you that there just hasn't been enough practice for some teams. But again, that's a discipline scenario. That's paying attention to the count. That's making sure that you are listening to the count. And nothing just grinds the coach more than penalty after penalty.
First and goal from just outside the 5-yard line. Blue Devil tackle jumped on the right side, and that'll cost Virginia 5. ball's back on the 10. First and goal from the 10. Pitch, Bianchi trying to get to the edge. There's also going to be a holding penalty coming. And this is going to move the Blue Devils back 10. Watch that one again on the replay as we'll see that one.
We definitely missed the holding call that was just ahead of where the shot was there, but missed block, and because of the missed block, we had to grab on accident. Moves us back a little bit more. Again, just like I said 2 minutes ago, there's nothing that chaps you more as a coach, especially in the football field where it's flag here, flag there. You're trying to get into some momentum, moving the ball forward, and you lull yourself to sleep.
The thing that hurts is that it's a penalty from the point of the infraction.
Right.
So it's actually like a 15-yard penalty.
Exactly.
Here's Bianchi getting a seam in the middle, and Caleb will get the ball inside the 20 to about the 17-yard line. 8-yard run on that play, and it's going to be second down and goal from, well, looks like about the 17-yard line. Ball's right in the middle of the field.
Second down and goal at the 17.
Carmody comes out wide to the right. This is Mason coming in motion. And off to Bianchi, tried to get to the edge. He breaks one tackle and gets taken down inside the 10.
Kind of right back to where we were just a few minutes ago, and at least within reach of the end zone here. Try to grind it through here on this next play. See if we can't get a little bit of excitement out here on the Blue Devil side of the ball. It's almost kind of just a stalemate right now.
Foy's in tight on the right side. Blue Devils have a man in the slot left. Bianchi again gets the handoff, and he gets cut down. Nice play by Gravette, number 55. And now we got a late flag coming in. Let's see what this is about. The way Virginia's acting, it's something against the blue and white.
I'm hoping that it's not a lack of composure penalty.
It'll either be fourth down and goal, or it'll be third, and they'll move it back at least 10. As the Giants want the penalty, so let's see. It'll be fourth and goal. I guess they're going to.
That's kind of a toss
Take the play.
as far as where they are. I guess you're either going to get fourth down and stay where you're at, or you're going to take third and see if you can ground spell to hold it in the field position. It looks like they're taking that and moving it back.
It was a personal foul against Virginia.
I'm not exactly sure what the penalty was, but at any rate, a personal foul at this point in time is, again, one of those composure type scenarios.
It's also it was after the run, so it'll be fourth down according to the stick on the far side. This is Zubitz throwing the ball. Mason cannot come down with it inside the 10. And the Giants will take the ball over on downs.
Well, and they're most certainly going to have to come over and answer to Coach Creamers and Coach Tezink. I'm not exactly sure, again, what the penalty was that beat us back so far, but at any rate, we're right back where we were a few minutes ago.
So that's the only explanation I would have. It was after the run. It was a personal foul.
I'm just hoping it wasn't, language or something like the content, something like that. That's going to get you, focus on the game a little more if that's the case. But I guess we can't speculate from up here.
Giants take the ball over and downs, and the first run, the ball comes out, but they'll rule the ball carrier was down near the 25-yard line. Ball carrier was number 7, John Gravette. above 4 on that first down play. 3:15, the clock is running here in the opening quarter. Again, this is our initial telecast, Fall Sports. I'm Bob Cohn, Reed Larson, head hockey coach, just waiting for the months to move along so we can start talking hockey, Blue Devil hockey. Here's a pitch back. This is Meyer. Reading is blocking, and Meyer's going to get a first down and more out over the 35-yard line. That's a nice run by number 5 of the Giants, but there's a holding penalty back here at the 25-yard line, so that run is going to go for naught.
Holding was right at the line of scrimmage. It looked like it was kind of right at the corner of our screenshot, right over the screen. At any rate, I think just watching these first couple of games, we've done the first few games of the year together for the last 3 years, and I feel like this is the 3rd year in a row or the first home game of the year. Penalty, back and forth. That's one of those things, like I said, I keep repeating myself, but as a coach, that's one of those things that you just get irritated about with penalty after penalty. But come next week and the week after, I would assume that you start eliminating about half of those.
Again, spread offense, 4 wide, and comes in motion, gets the handoff coming this way. Looks like that was Josh James from the slot position.
Josh James, also a hockey player for Mesabi East. I believe his dad is the activities director over there.
You're correct, yes.
Good hockey player, too.
Third down and 11. Ball's in the middle of the field. Again, the Giants will go with their spread formation with 4 wide, 2 on each side. John Gravett is the lone blocking back. Baraboo under some pressure, now just tucks it away, and he'll run for a first down. That's the initial first down for the Giants.
I had to stand around there as soon as I figured out where it was. I think that was a pretty good fake there by the quarterback, and then he tucked it away, took it. I think there was a few Blue Devils that were standing there like, I'm not sure where the ball was. And they were standing in cement. So, again, first game of the year, just kind of shaking the dust off, shaking the rust off.
Now we got a procedure penalty, and the Giants are going to get hit with their 6th penalty here in the opening quarter. The 6 of these Blue Devils now at the corners are going with 42 Herman and 5 Bialke. Looks like back in the deep secondary is 20 Fink along with Hewan in number 10.
They've been rotating guys in and out of there the last few series too. Fink, I think, is the only guy in the secondary that actually started back there. But they've been rotating some guys in and out of there. They'll have Chris Mason back there. They'll have, they've got a number of different secondary guys that they swing in and out of there.
First and 15. Pass was incomplete. Baraboo 0 for 4 to start tonight. Let's check those Blue Devil linebackers. 52 is Dishnu, 40 is Crandall, 44 Flatley, and let's see, Jim on the far side. I think I'm missing one.
Well, you got Dishnu, Crandall, Flatley. They've got 3 in right now.
Okay, and then their linebackers, or their line 61 now is Anthony Hall. Anthony's 5'10", 215. 53 is Chris Jacklin. And then we've got Foy and Uso on the ends. Meyer goes in motion, a handoff straight up the middle. Ball came out. And they'll rule the ball was down, and it'll be 3rd down for the Giants. James was ball carrier, but I think Baraboo may have fallen on that fumble.
Lucky for him. Looked like a few hungry Blue Devils there trying to pick up some more dinner.
coming up on our final 60 seconds of the slow-moving opening quarter here at UNC.
It has been kind of slow-moving here. I don't think we've been in kind of a box of the same 20 yards for the last 15 plays of the game.
Baraboo throwing the ball over the middle, and it's almost intercepted. He threw it where the Blue Devils had double coverage. He intended for number 5, Meyer, and Nate Fink almost picked it.
He almost picked that off, and you know what, as a high school kid, you can't be too hard on those kids for not grabbing that interception. However, I remember back in my days of playing for Jim Milosky at UND, he used to scream in my ear, "Larson, if that thing can touch your hands, you better catch it." And he'd give you what they used to call the heart punch at UND.
Again, the kicker has some trouble, and Virginia's going to start deep in Mesabi East territory at the 25-yard line. That snap was not bad. I think the punter just mishandled it.
Well, certainly special teams, I think, is one of the biggest challenges over the course of the first 2 weeks of the season. Getting going, you're trying to get your conditioning going, you're trying to get your plays in and out. And I think sometimes special teams gets a little bit neglected the first week of the season.
Mishandled slightly by the quarterback Zupitz, and he gets control and falls forward, but that did not look good right from the start. Maybe on the replay we can see what happened there. I guess we didn't quite get. Didn't look like it was a good exchange that time.
You know, not only with the special teams being neglected, I think some of the specialty positions too, snapping, punting, kicking, those things just don't get worked on enough. And it isn't a coach's fault, it's just you don't have enough time.
Fink is wide to the left, he draws single coverage. Bielke with a slash to the left side with some running room. And gets taken down, and that should be the final play of the quarter. We've played one from Ewens on this Thursday night. Virginia and Mesabi scoreless. Start our second quarter. Blue Devils will have a 3rd and 4 from inside the 20. Bielke gets a handoff, gets to the 15-yard line, and that's going to be awful close to a Virginia first down.
On to stop number 5, Cole Meyer for the Giants.
We'll take a look at it. And now they'll have to bring the sticks across. In that first quarter, unofficially had Virginia with 53 yards, Mesabi East with 35. Blue Devils with 2 first downs, Giants had 1. Blue Devils 4 penalties, 35 yards, Giants 6 penalties for 35. Quarterbacks starting off tonight, 0 for 3, 0 for 5. First down for Virginia.
First down and 10 for the Giants, 15-yard line. First and 10.
Well, I hate to be that guy, but something interesting has to happen here real quick because of the biggest stats of the evening are penalties. It'll be a pillar.
I think we're going to see something. You got 20 flanked out wide to the right side. Zubin's going to throw the ball for 20. Nice catch by Fink, and he's going to score a Blue Devil touchdown. I knew the play was coming.
Well, I'll tell you what, we'll put aside the idea of the pillar just for a minute and get some excitement here. Nice vertical by Fink there getting up. That pass that Jack Zupitz just made right there was only going to be caught by the guy that can jump the highest. Fink gets up there, he can drive a car underneath him. He got up there so high, comes down with it, and scores a touchdown.
Blue Devils will go for the 2. Now Bo Foley will quarterback keep it. Tries to read his blocking, and he is not going to get towards the end zone. So, Blue Devils with the touchdown. They'll head back upfield. We'll take a break in the action as the Virginia Blue Devils have scored a touchdown and have taken a 6-0 lead over the Mesabi East Giants.
In the second quarter. The score, Virginia Blue Devils 6, Mesabi East, no score.
So the Blue Devils coming out of the quarter break score a touchdown on a 15-yard pass. It took the Blue Devils 2 plays in that second quarter, 5-yard run or a 4-yard run by Bianchi, and then a 15-yard touchdown pass.
Great pass and great catch there for the touchdown play, Bob, and we're going to have to see a little bit more of that here as the game goes on. Just like you said, I think the only person that was going to catch that ball was Fink. He gets up there high, he comes down with the ball. We're going to see him in there a little bit more often.
Doherty with the kickoff. Nice drive and kick. It's going to be taken by James just outside the 20. And he's now to the 35-yard line. The ball came out. Let's see. It's going to be Virginia's ball. Virginia will get the ball on a turnover. The first turnover tonight. Let's see if we can pick it up on the replay.
Number 52, Riley Dishnell.
There's Dishnell, I think, who stripped him.
Stripped the ball away from him, Bob, and threw it down with the end zone. See how things happen there? You get something good that happens, and then the snowball effect takes place. I know we don't want to talk about snow too early, but the snowball effect takes place in this situation. Something good happens, momentum starts rolling that way. Now we're excited here. We're up finally.
Now let's see how the Blue Devils will go for a quick strike and get a 2-touchdown lead or grind it out. Here's Zubitz throwing the home run for Mason. It's almost intercepted. Nice defense downfield. It looked like it was 20. That was James maybe downfield.
That was a pretty good play by the defender back there because, again, Zubitz puts the ball in a position where if our guy doesn't get it, I don't think anybody's going to get it. So the corner played a pretty good play there for Mesabi East just to make sure that he didn't come down with the ball. He wasn't going to pick it off to make sure that he didn't get it.
I think it was actually Adam here way, and that's flat. It's going to go no place. It's going to be third down and 10.
Ball carrier number 24, Chris Mason. No gain on the play. We're going third down and 10 for the Blue Devils.
10:40. Clock is running here in the second quarter. 6-0 Virginia.
It's kind of a blow up. It's already turned around. The next series you're supposed to score.
Absolutely. Ball carrier 42 for the Blue Devils. That is Cody Herman.
The ball carrier number 42 for the Blue Devils, Cody Herman.
Pulled through for quite a few yards there, Bob. Just put his head down and went.
6 yards on that play. Blue Devils now with 63 yards on the ground. It's fourth down and 4.
Again, Coach Kramer's doing a really good job of getting different guys in there to play.
Here's a handoff, and again, it'll be Herman with the first down.
Ball carrier number 42, Cody Herman.
Boy, that's a nice try. That's about 10 more
First
yards.
down, Blue Devils.
He's going through, he's plowing through the line there, Bob, at a 45-degree
On
angle,
his down
just
number 5,
ripping through the
Cole
line.
Meyer.
Up with his feet.
Along with number 20, Josh James.
First and 10 for the Blue Devils,
First
just
down and 10 for
outside
the
the
Blue Devils
20.
from the Giants' 21-yard line. First and 10.
Give it off to Herman again, cuts back in, reads his block, and gets to the 15-yard line.
I'd like to see a change here in personnel at some point in time. With all the guys that we've got in and out of the lineup here tonight,
Number 64,
it's pretty tough to get tired.
along with number 5,
He's doing a really good job
Cole
of
Meyer.
mixing guys in and out of there. Bianchi and Herman. Blacky's been back
Bring
to
up second
full
down
back
and
a
4
little
for the
bit.
Blue Devils.
Well, right now they've changed up. They've gone to a I formation with Herman as the tailback. Looks like he'll get it again on this play. Nope, quarterback Zupins is rolling. Looking, throwing the ball towards the end zone. It was high and complete.
And they kind of set that play up, you know, just like you said. Like he was probably going to be handing it off to him. He did boom, 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 3 plays in a row where it went to him. This time it was a fake little play action. They thought they could find Doherty in the end zone.
Bring up third down and 4 for the Blue Devils.
Nice to run the ball to the left side. We've got Checo, who is 6'2", 205, and Kennedy, 6'7", 300. Usually the teams have their strength to the right side, usually the right guard and the right tackle. Blue Devils with their size on the left side. It'll be third and about 4. Herman will get the handoff, reads his blocking, and Herman will get another Blue Devil first
That's Herman, the
down.
ball carrier.
51, Brendan Scott from the middle linebacker position in on the stop.
Well, when you think about, like you were saying, you usually get your strength on the right side with your 2 big guys. You know, sometimes you see it different too, just depending on which the quarterback is. Because if you're a passing team, you want your blind side guy to be your big loser. That's why they've got Bryce Kennedy on the blind side of our quarterback, Jack Zupas, to protect him.
Herman gets a first down as he slashes it to the 10-yard line.
First down, Blue Devils. Bring up first and goal on the
Cody
10-yard
Herman is
line.
definitely getting a
First
work
and
on
goal on
here
the
this
10.
quarter. This is his quarter. This is good series. A number of runs back to back to back. It seems to me like it was likely planned by Coach Kramer that he was going to get the second quarter.
He's doing a nice job. Can get the handoff again, trying to go left side, and boy, the Giants really stacked the box on their left side for this play. It goes no place. A lot of white jerseys in on the stop. As you can see how they just kind of push that line back a little bit.
What I like about this Blue Devil team is there isn't a real distinct line between these are my starters and these are my second team. Right now, he's been mixing guys in and out as starters, second team. You can't really tell that much with most of them. There's points of view, you can tell.
Pitch, Herman going right side, reads his blocking, gets inside the 5-yard line.
That's Herman, the ball carrier.
It's like we were saying as a tailback. We didn't see Herman in the play in the first quarter. He's in the second quarter, and he's been every bit as productive as Bianchi was there in the first quarter. In fact, he got the stats right.
And with the depth here, you can use a Flatley 44. He ran the ball last year. Kringle 40 ran the ball. He's been 28. So Coach Kramers does have some different options this year.
Absolutely.
There's Herman in the end zone for another touchdown.
Touchdown, Blue Devils.
A 3-yard run for Cody Herman.
Well, he racked up the yards there that quarter, or excuse me, that series. We'll like to see that again here coming up into the next series.
Blue Devils go on top by a score of 12-0. And it looks like they'll go for the 2-point conversion. Bianchi checks back in for Virginia. Hinsman is the blocking back. He gets the handoff, and Hinsman will get in for the 2-point conversion. Tanner Hinsman tacks on the 2, and the Blue Devils have a 14-0 lead over the Giants. As we watch on the replay, the teams will head back upfield, and we'll have the Blue Devil kickoff coming up. 6:44 to go in our first half. Virginia 14, Mesabi East 0.
The Mesabi East Giants, no score.
Archive programs are also available on our website for children in Virginia and Mesabi East schools. You can also download all of these events by going to the Mesabi website and clicking on the share logo and then clicking on the arrow symbol in the center of the screen. There, you will find the download button. Another exciting feature at MCTV is our new Roku channel, which provides the best viewing experience for all of our on-demand programming right on your television screen. Simply make a one-time purchase of your Roku device, plug it into your HDMI input on your TV, and search for Mesabi Community Television. Either from our webpage or from your Roku, you will also be able to watch the council meetings, school board meetings, and radio concerts.
And on a stop, number 20, the Blue Devils, Nathan Fink. Giants will take over from their own 35-yard line. First and 10 for the Giants from their own 35.
Wonderful.
From the right hash mark, James was a motion man, and Gravette gets a handoff, and he just can't go anyplace as the Blue Devils. And now we're going to have a personal foul against Mesabi East.
Well, I think we got things worked out here now, Bob. Thanks to my wife back home who was listening on the cube. It sounded like we had things... some of our mics were a little bit alternated, so it sounds like we're all back and running.
First game, these type of things happen until we get things worked out.
We're all shaking the rust off up here.
They'll move him back 15 yards, and that is the 7th Mesabi East penalty. Ouch. 7 penalties in about 18 minutes of football.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we talked a little bit about this just before, but I'm sure not very many people could hear us talking very well because we had some technical difficulties. But that last series there, Cody Herman with a very, very impressive series of football there. Probably had about 7 or 8 carries, scored the touchdown, came down, and we made a 2-point conversion because again, we spoke about Connor Cusick graduating last year. The kicking game is different this year. We went for two-point conversions today, missed the first one, made the second one. So as the season moves on here and we keep getting a little bit better and better with special teams, hope to see them start using Josh Doherty kicking extra points.
I think they'll try to. They'll get some opportunities. And,
Yep.
you know, watching Josh warm up with some of the kicks, I thought he did a pretty nice job. So I'm sure Coach Kramer's in some of these early games will get a chance to play as many players as he possibly can get in there. Next week, the Blue Devils will host a program that's always been successful. I think the last couple of years it's been down a little bit, and that's Moose Lake Willow River. Every year they've always had a powerhouse team, and I think they're in a numbers situation in that Moose Lake area, and
Sure.
may not quite be as strong as what they have been in the past.
Well, the history between Virginia and Moose Lake has definitely got some history. This is before my time in Virginia, but Moose Lake and Virginia met a couple of times in the playoffs a few years before I got here.
Okay.
And apparently Moose Lake had come out on top of those being sent to the state football tournament. So
Here we
there's
go.
history.
Second and long for the Giants after that major penalty. Baraboo from the shotgun. He's going to take it. Fumble, and Virginia's got it. Beaufoy with the big hit. Bryce Kennedy falls on the ball.
You can't say enough about the size of those gentlemen up front on the defensive line there. You've got three really, really big guys, and you got another guy up there that's maybe not quite as big, but definitely as tough. And you try running through the middle with Beaufoy and Bryce Kennedy in front of you, or Ethan Uso standing there, and you're going to get the lick hit on you real hard.
Blue Devils change up the quarterback now. It'll be Beaufoy running the offense for Virginia. Check that offensive line. Looks like it's still Kennedy and Checo on the left. Jacobson is the center. We'll check that right side. Foy on the keeper, going to the left side, and Foy gets near the 12-yard line.
We talk about that depth, and I think we're going to talk about that as the season continues to unfold here, that the depth at a lot of the positions, especially the skill positions right now at quarterback, running back, fullback, receivers. There's so many guys that can play football at those positions. You didn't even see Beaufoy except for maybe one or two plays in the most of the first quarter or second quarter. Jack Zupitz was in there and did a great job. Now it's Beaufoy's turn, and
Foy again on a keeper, and he's going to get a first down as he gets inside the 5-yard line.
And it's kind of like a little quarterback draw play that we watched him do last year over and over and over again. It was almost an automatic 4 yards every time. Well, his stride, he's so tall. All he has to do is stand up and lean forward, and he's going to get 4 yards out of the deal. So picking up some yards, Beaufoy at the quarterback position.
Foy again on a keeper. He's close. Touchdown. Foy scores.
That might be the story of the night tonight, Bob, as we continue to go on. I don't want to put my foot in my mouth and start making guesses here, but I think the story of the night is the depth of the team. You know, you see guys that you didn't see in the starting lineup scoring touchdowns out here tonight. You saw Fink, who wasn't starting out at the split-out position right away. They put him in, he scores. You see Cody Herman, who wasn't out right away at the running back position. He scores, and now Beaufoy.
Blue Devils going for the 2-point conversion. Fink is out to the right. Doherty to left. Foy on a keeper, and he's going to get to the edge and falls forward and scores a 2-point conversion. So the Blue Devils, after the turnover, capitalize, and their lead is up to 22-0 over the Giants. 5:33 to go in our first half. Teams will head back upfield. We'll have a timeout. This is Blue Devil football on Mesabi Community Television.
So to use Arrowhead Transit, it really is that simple?
It is that simple. It's 800-862-0175. It's for you.
Hello? Yes, I need to go to Target. Yes, right now. I live at 999 9th Street South. No time to talk. Arrowhead Transit's going to be here in 10 minutes.
Well, have a nice time.
It really is that simple. Just call, and the bus will be there to pick you up and to take you where you need to go.
And we're back.
Doherty gets the ball, and he will kick off once again for the Blue Devils. Well, after a real, I just want to say, maybe a dull first quarter, the Blue Devils have capitalized on two Giants turnovers.
I'm not going to lie to you. The first quarter was boring.
Yep.
It was boring to watch because they're shaking off the rust.
Ball is grabbed. This is James out over the 35-yard line.
But you know what? Talking about the first quarter, I think everybody that's out here is trying to shake the rust off. You know, for the listeners out there, I get to hear a birdie in my ear every single time I'm calling these games, and my birdie in the ear just said, not only were the team shaking the rust off, but I think we are too as a crew here calling the game. So everybody's shaking off the rust.
Baraboo gets the play from head coach Grams and gets to the Giant huddle. 5:25 to go in our first half. Virginia with a 22-0 lead over Mesabi East. High school football on this Thursday night. It'll be a Friday night next week as we will have the Blue Devils against the Rebels from Moose Lake Willow River. Oh boy, a big defensive play. And right now, the Giants can do nothing offensively as the Blue Devils are just coming hard at them.
As much as you like to give the credit to Bryce Kennedy there, I gotta say Tanner Hinsman is a tough dude standing there on the line. He's not as big as the guy standing on the outside of him, but I'll tell you what, he's definitely got as big of a heart as anybody else does out there. He flies through the line and stick, and then next thing you know, you got big Bryce Kennedy laying down on the guy helping you out.
5'10", 140. Playing a defensive tackle for the Blue Devils. Now the Giants with another miscue.
Yeah, 5'10", 100 and what?
140 is what they list him on the program.
Standing just to the right of Bryce Kennedy, 200 and how many pounds?
I think Bryce is close to 3. Let's see, they list him at, what do they list? They list him at 300.
Oh, my goodness. Oh. His parents got to have one heck of a grocery bill. That kid likes to eat, I would assume.
Second down and long for the Giants. Baraboo from the shotgun. Baraboo throwing the ball, and it is almost intercepted. The intended receiver, Cole Meyer, was not expecting it that quick. And again, Baraboo's he's throwing it maybe just a fraction early that time.
Bob, we're going to have a lot more names and numbers to remember this year. The last few years, you know, you get to notice who the starting guys are in, and you see them in there all game long. And they've got guys coming in and out, playing, lots of different guys playing positions. Everybody's getting to play tonight. Not everybody, but most guys are in and out of the lineup tonight. So we're going to have to remember names and numbers, learn more guys than we have in the past.
Giants again staying with that spread with 4 wide, 2 on each side. Gravette behind Baraboo. Baraboo rolling, throwing the ball, and it is picked off. Puck was picked off by Ryan Hewinen, and now we're going to get a Blue Devil personal foul.
I'm interested to see what this personal foul is.
Blue Devils will be in business once again after the turnover, but now it just depends on where they're going to start this drive. Looks like they'll be starting the drive from their side of the 50.
What do you figure that personal foul was for, Bob?
You know, I really wasn't watching it. I was marking it down, and we'll watch on the replay now to see if we can pick this up. Well, I guess we... We didn't quite get to see that. They'll mark it off, and Virginia will start from their own 47-yard line. 4:10 to go in our first half. Jack Zupids returns to the Blue Devil backfield. Mason's in the slot on the right. Carmody's out wide to the right. Zupids will give it off. This is Bialke, who's checked back in. Bialke gets almost 5. I got the Blue Devils right now unofficially with 122 yards on the ground.
And that happened mostly here in the second quarter.
Yep. I think just about all of it. I think they had about 53 after the first quarter.
That first quarter was boring. Sorry.
Yes, it was. Here's
Sorry.
Bialke again, reading his blocking, cuts against the grain, trying to get to the edge, and he gets taken down. He tried to get to the edge. Nice defensive play by Gavin Skelton. Boy, if he'd gotten just to the edge there as we watch right here. Look at it, he just got, but Skelton 31 with a nice play.
I think that guy grabbed his shoelace.
Third down and short. The ball is just inside the Giants' 45. Zupids on a keeper straight ahead. Jack will get a Virginia first down, and that is their 11th first down. Boy, I was looking at your hockey schedule already there, Coach, and boy, you talk about toughing up a schedule. Wow, you play Cloquet on a Thursday and Bloomington Jefferson on a Friday.
Yeah, we definitely went to work on the schedule this year. You know, just like the other sports that are here, with football, with basketball, with some of the other sports here in Virginia. There's some real high expectations in a lot of different sports, and I guess it's no different with hockey. We have some pretty high expectations this year as to what we can do. I'm not going to get into making any guesses or any predictions, but we definitely have a nice crew of kids coming through here that we think we can challenge with a pretty darn good schedule.
On that last play, Zupids was tackled for a loss, and now we got the Blue Devils taking a timeout. We'll just keep it right here with 2:36 to go in our first half. Again, let's recap the scoring. At 11:19, a 15-yard pass from Zupids to Fink. 2-point conversion failed. It was 6-0 Virginia. Then at 6:44, after a Giant turnover on the kickoff, it was Cody Herman capping off the drive on a 3-yard run. Hinsman then on the 2-point conversion. It was 14-0. And then after the next Giant turnover at 5:33, a 4-yard run by Bo Foy. Foy then scored the 2-point conversion. He gets all 8 points for the Blue Devils, and Virginia has a 22-0 lead over the Giants. Next Friday night, the Giants will travel to Hinckley, Finlandson to take on the Jaguars. Meanwhile, the Blue Devils will be right back here at the stadium hosting Moose Lake Willow River. Next week, it's a 7 o'clock start for our viewers, not the 7:30 start tonight. So we'll be coming on probably about 6:50 next Friday night right here in Virginia. Well, kids get back in school next week there, Reed. It's been a long vacation, and now we got to get back to work.
We're pretty excited about it. As crazy as that sounds, Bob, you know, every teacher likes June, July, and August, but they really like September when they get to see those kids come back ready and eager to learn.
Here's Jack Zupids, who takes the shotgun snap and gets the yardage back that he lost, plus a couple more, and it's going to be third, and we'll call it a long 8 for the Blue Devils. Virginia has rushed 28 times. They've had 33 offensive plays here in the first half. Giants with only 17 offensive plays. Now Tommy Carmody again comes out wide. Bialke trying to come to this wide side of the field, and boy, a great defensive play by number 9, Zach Helander.
We're fourth and quite a ways here right now. We'll see what Coach Kremers decides to do. Again, with the loss of our kicker and punter last year, I got to think it's maybe a little difficult to train somebody new in right away and ready to rock and roll with that scenario. So we'll see what they do.
Watch a fake here. Giants have not been able to move offensively. We're coming up on our final minute of the half. Zupitz from shotgun. Oh, he is going to kick. Off the side of his foot. It goes out of bounds. And I think it's going to end up as a 2-yard punt, maybe?
2 yards from the line of scrimmage. Now, if you want to give him the extra 10 yards that he was back from the line of scrimmage, then we'd call it 12. But I'm guessing Jack would want us to tack on that extra 10 yards. Yeah.
57 seconds to go in our first half. Giants offensively unable to do anything here in this first half. Baraboo swing pass is batted down by Foy.
That was a great defensive play by Bo Foy there. It helps having these big, tall guys on the defensive line right there. All he has to do is just put his hand in the air. He doesn't have to jump. The guys that are as tall as Bo Foy and Ethan Uso and Bryce Kennedy.
Second down and 10. Erie will come out wide to the right. Again, they go with 4 wide, 2 on each side. James goes in motion. Here comes the first play back this way. The Blue Devils have played it quite well. Very short gain.
Got a little excited there on the line from the near bottom side of the screen there. We kind of folded a little bit too close to that handoff, and the reverse kind of bit our outside guy here. I think that might have been Foy there. We'll give him that one. He's had a heck of a night for as well as he's played. So I guess one mistake there isn't going to hurt him too much.
Giants take a timeout with 39 seconds to go in our first half. I have, looking at my stats, I've got 11 first downs for the Blue Devils, 1 for the Giants. Virginia unofficially with 138 yards of offense here in the first half. Giants with 35 yards of offense. Giants with 19 plays in the first half. Blue Devils with 34 plays. Again, these are all unofficial.
Oh, Bob.
The only thing that's official is who scored the touchdown, the time of the touchdown, and maybe the distance.
Bob, you're as official as it gets, my friend.
Here we go. Third down for the Giants. From the right hash mark. Baraboo rolling to the short side. Throwing the ball, and it's incomplete. He tried to hit Helander, and now the Giants are...
Addition, who got a hand on the football there as the outside linebacker here on the play. Looked like he got his hand. If he didn't get his hand on the ball, he at least got it in front of his eyes, which is something you teach a defensive back to do. If you can't get the ball, get in his vision.
See if the Giants are going to punt the ball. Blue Devils are not expecting it. Zupitz is only dropping back a few yards. The punt was almost blocked. It's very short. It may have been partially deflected. It's going to go out of bounds near the 37-yard line.
Well, the special teams has been a little bit interesting tonight, to say the least.
Well, Reed, what do you do right now? Maybe you throw a long one down?
You know, you might want to surprise
seconds.
them here just a little bit with 27 seconds left. Take one shot here and then see what you can do. And I think we've got the personnel in there to be able to do it, especially if they got Fink in there.
They do have Fink, and they've got Bialke. And Fink is going to go wide to the right, the wide side. He's going to draw single coverage. It's going to be Adamiri on him.
Well, and you can't forget Ethan Yuso. He's that quick, easy guy to dump the ball off to if they don't have anything deep down the field.
Bialke will go in motion, coming to the short side. Zupitz is going to throw the ball long downfield for Bialke. Got behind the seconder, and what a defensive play intercepting it was Zach Helander. And he goes out of bounds near the 35-yard line. What a defensive play by number 9.
Well, we definitely got a little bit in front of that ball. That was great. Bialke showed great speed on his route down the field. Maybe got a little bit far in front of it. Good defensive play, but I don't even know if he was looking at the ball when he caught it. It came right over his head. He put his hands out and it landed right in his hands.
17 seconds to go in our first half. 22-0 Virginia. Baraboo from the gun. Rolling to the left side. Now he comes back to the right side, throwing the ball downfield. Wide open downfield is Josh James. He's to the 30, the 25, the 20, the 15, the 10. He's forced out of bounds with 6 seconds to go.
Well, that's going to wake up the Giant bench over here. They're pretty excited now. And I guess that's kind of the way to do it. You get a quick interception, one play, shot down the field, and now they're within reach.
60 yards is what we have it about. It came from the 36-yard line down to the 4. And now the Giants will take their third and final timeout. Time for just one more play.
Well, just kind of taking a peek at what kind of situation we were in there as the turnover happened. There was just a few seconds left on the clock. I think we were in just the 12, 13 seconds left when they made that pass. You got to think they're going to go deep. And I don't think our secondary was back in a prevent kind of situation. We kind of got stuck there watching. We weren't back in the field back there. Again, one of those early parts of the season, maybe an early season mistake.
So by far the biggest play of the night for the Giants. Boy, up until that time, they only had 35 yards of total offense.
35, and then they go 60 on one play.
Yep. Could be the final play, barring a defensive penalty. And we'll see how the Blue Devils will play this one. Baraboo from the shotgun. He's got wideouts on both sides. John Gravett, number 7, is the lone back in the backfield besides the quarterback. Baraboo throwing the ball towards the end zone and just threw it wide. We have time for one more play.
Yeah, the pass there, folks, stops the clock there on the incomplete pass, gives them one more shot at the end zone. 2 seconds. Might have been a little bit slow on the stoppage there.
Boy, it seemed like, when the ball gets snapped, wow.
Yeah.
Blue Devils now will take a timeout. Again, next Friday night, Reed and I will be right back here at the stadium. Same spot, different time, starting a little bit earlier.
Same place, different time.
Boy, how about some of the other fall sports? Coach Mostyn's got those girls playing very well. Girls tennis team with big victory last night against Evelyn Gilbert. Volleyball team is off to a nice start with 2 early season victories. Swimmers have just gotten into competition. Cross country had a big meet this week. So again, our fall sports starting up, and again, like you said earlier, a lot of expectations this year, not only out of the fall teams, but the basketball and the hockey and the things in the spring with softball and baseball. So hopefully it'll be a good sports season here at Virginia High School.
Yeah, we're all pretty excited about what's to come here. You get to start a school and all the kids are there bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and ready to learn, and the teachers are there and excited and ready to deliver knowledge. And once the sports gets going, you just keep all of your happy, exciting thoughts about the rest of the season and the rest of the year with Blue Devil athletics.
Here we go. 2 seconds to go. The ball from the 4-yard line. Baraboo coming to the short side, and he is going to get stopped short. And our first half is going to come to an end as the Blue Devils defensively come up with a big play, and that's the way our first half is going to end. Virginia 22 and Mesabi 0 at the intermission.
The P.S. Engman Agency is a family-owned business that has served the area with compassion and quality service for over 100 years. We are grateful for their fine support of Blue Devil Sports on Channel 5.
So to use Arrowhead Transit, it really is that simple?
It is that simple. It's 800-862-0175. It's for you.
Hello? Yes, I need to go to Target. Yes, right now. I live at 999 9th Street South. No time to talk. Arrowhead Transit's going to be here in 10 minutes.
Well, have a nice time.
It really is that simple. Just call, and the bus will be there to pick you up and to take you where you need to go. Local television programming is now available to everyone through MesabiCommunityTV.com. From our main page, you can find all of our live sports broadcasts, simultaneously streamed over YouTube, the High School Cube, and also live on Channel 5 Public Access. Archived sporting events are also available on our website for Chisholm, Mount Iron, Virginia, and Mesabi East schools. You can also download all of these events by going to your selected event, clicking on the share icon, and then clicking on the address on the center of the screen. There, you will find your download button. Another exciting feature at MCTV is our new Roku channel, which provides the best viewing experience for all of our on-demand programming right on your television screen. Simply make a one-time purchase of your Roku device, plug it into your HDMI input on your TV, and search for Mesabi Community Television. either from our webpage or from your Roku. You will also be able to watch area council meetings, school board meetings, or area concerts. From our main page, you may also view our entire community bulletin board.
I'm Jermaine, I'm from Milwaukee, and this is my Mesabi story.
My name's Laura. I am from Virginia, Minnesota. I've been a lifelong Iron Ranger, and this is my Mesabi story.
My name is Hannah. I'm from Hermantown, and this is my Mesabi story.
The faculty at Mesabi Range College, they really care.
I'm very impressed with the way the staff has worked with us.
Oh, I love the program. Absolutely love it. I couldn't imagine doing anything different.
And welcome back to UN Stadium on this Thursday night. We're at halftime of tonight's football game featuring the Mesabi East Giants and the Virginia Blue Devils. Again, I'm Bob Cohn with Reed Larson, the head hockey coach here at Virginia High School. And Reed, after a very, very slow starting football game tonight, boy, the Blue Devils on all cylinders in that second quarter put on a real nice display. And, of course, the coaches have to be very happy with what happened in the second 12 minutes of tonight's football game.
Yeah, no question about it. It's just really exciting to see, you know, a couple of different things that we talked about in the second quarter, Bob. We talked about Coach Creamer's using numerous different guys in and out of the lineup tonight. You know, the guys that he had starting out on the field were producing. They were doing just fine, but we were a little bit slow on the start. He wasn't afraid to get some other guys in there, and some of the guys that he brought in the second quarter were actually starting to score some points. Now, that doesn't say anything poorly about the guys that were in there to start. That just means Coach Creamer's has some decisions to make as to who he's going to put in and out of there more often. He's got a heck of a lot of talent.
Taking a look at our stats now, and our stats are sponsored by the Arrowhead Transit. The first half stats, first downs, Virginia had 11 first downs, while Mesabi East finished with 2. Rushing in the first half, I had unofficially Virginia 29 rushing plays for 123 yards. Quarterback Zupids was 1 for 6, had 1 interception for 15 yards. So the Blue Devils had 138 yards of total offense. Virginia with 5 penalties for 50 yards, and they had 1 turnover. Meanwhile, the Giants with 2 first downs in the first half. They rushed the ball 12 times for 33 yards. Baraboo is a quarterback, 1 out of 11 with 1 interception for 60 yards. The big play right at the end of the half. 8 penalties in the first half for the Giants, and they had 2 turnovers. So again, you know, with the score 22-0, it actually, as you look at the statistics, you look at the penalties, you look at the turnovers, the stats that count are favoring the team with the blue and white, and obviously the stats that don't count, that are against you, are favoring the Giants from Mesabi East.
Yeah, absolutely, no question about it. I mean, we talked a little bit about that big play for the Giants at the end, or 2 big plays, I should say. A great interception there, and then right away, boom, they take a shot at the end zone. They're down for a 60-yard pass. That's something that actually, you know, Coach Steve Grams can take into the third quarter for Mesabi East and just say, hey, you know, guys, we could be in this game right now if we just stop making some of the mistakes that we made the first half. The penalties, the turnovers, those things that are killing the Giants right now. If they can clean their game up, it wouldn't be such a lopsided game right now.
I think defensively, I think the Giants played fairly well in the first half.
Yeah, they sure did.
It's just their offense. Their offense has not been able to do anything against that big Virginia front.
Well, and I think that is definitely going to be a feather in Virginia's cap all season long with those big dudes. And I shouldn't just talk about the big dudes on that front line of the defensive line. You got to talk about Tanner Hintzman too, because that kid may not be as big as the other 3 guys on that defensive line, but I'll tell you what, his heart is as big as the other 3. He's an animal down there. But boy, when you talk about guys like Bo Foy and Bryce Kennedy and Ethan Yuso, and then you get Tanner Hintzman in there with as hungry as that kid is, that 4 up front is going to be tough to penetrate.
So the Blue Devils with a 22-0 lead here at halftime. We'll take another break, and we'll be back shortly. Second half kickoff is right around the corner. The Blue Devils, with 22 points in that second quarter, have the big lead over the Mesabi East Giants. And welcome back to the stadium as we are just about set to start our second half as we're watching some of the replays here of the first half action. The Blue Devils with a 22-0 lead over Mesabi East. Again, no scoring in the first quarter, and all the points were in the second quarter. A 15-yard pass from Zupitz to Fink, a 3-yard run by Cody Herman, and a 4-yard run by Beaufoy. The point after touchdowns, Tanner Hinsman with one run and Beaufoy with the other run, the 22 points in the first half. So a pretty good first half of football, pretty good second quarter of football, and now we're all set for the kickoff to start our third quarter. The Giants will be kicking off to the Blue Devils, and we are underway. The ball is going to be fielded at the 20-yard line by Bialke, and he just gets horse collar down near the 37-yard line.
Well, I would assume I'd see Laundry on the field after that one, but I guess not. Apparently it's okay to grab the helmet nowadays.
Wow. Blue Devils will start with great field position at the 37-yard line.
At any rate, it'll toughen them up.
Beaufoy will start at the quarterback here in the second half. The offensive line.
We see a little different kind of play when Beaufoy's in there. We do like to go up the middle with this guy.
Foy will hand off on the first play. Play goes for about 7 out over the 40 to the 43, and it looks like it's 44. That would be Dawson Flatley.
You know, typically when you see Beaufoy, and like we said in the second quarter, he's got such a long stride. He's such a tall guy that all he needs to do is take 2 steps forward and then fall forward, and he's got about 4 yards. So they do like to go up to shoot with him a lot.
Try to check that offensive line, see if there's any changes at all. Flatley again the ball carrier, and Flatley's going to get about 3 tough yards before a whole host of Giants in on the stop, and is going to set up 3rd and short. Second half just underway from the stadium on this Thursday night. Boy, it's hard to say a Thursday night when we're so used to Friday night football.
Hey, usually it's Friday night lights in the fall, and it's Thursday. I'm guessing that's because it's Labor Day weekend here.
Here's Foy on a keeper and a great read. Going down the sidelines, and he'll push him out of bounds inside the 35-yard line.
But for a big dude, he's got some quick feet, doesn't he?
He sure does.
Nice little stiff arm coming up the side there. We were just kind of talking about how they liked him to run the football. He's picked up quite a few yards here tonight, just in the 2 or 3 series that he's been in at quarterback. But make no mistake, he's been in at defense on defensive end most of the night and made some really nice plays there too.
Jacobson's the center, Checo, and again Kennedy on the left side. We'll check that right side to see if there's any changes over there as the ball carrier will get a nice piece of yardage going to that left side. Again, it's Flatley who's carried the ball on 3 consecutive plays, or 2 out of the 3 last plays. It's about 6 more yards. Try to check that left side now. See who they got over there. They've been rotating a few. It was Herberg and LeBake, but they also put in 60, or let's check it. We get a chance here. Second down and short. Again, ball goes right up the middle. This time it's Crandall. Number 40, the ball carrier. Flag comes in where they normally call holding. Oh, it's a face mask. Face mask is called against the Giants.
It looks like right now you've got Anton Lebec and Tyler Herberg in on the right side there, and then you've got Bryce Kennedy and Jordan Checo in on the left side.
Second down and 2 from the shotgun. Foy again on the keeper, trying to get to the edge, reads his block, cuts back in. Boy, nice block by Fink. Fink had that cornerback tied up. Again, if we got a chance to watch that replay.
Oh, he did a really nice job of turning him to the sideline, didn't he? That was a key block there to give him an extra 4 yards on the play.
First down at the 10-yard line. It looks like it's just outside, so Virginia could get a first down inside the 1. Boy, they're coming right at him here in the second half. Foy again on a keeper, right side. Gets to the 5, gets into the end zone for a Blue Devil touchdown. Foy from 10 yards outscores.
Well, just as we predicted, and it looks like we've got laundry on the field here. It was a late flag that got thrown after the touchdown was scored.
Unsportsmanlike against the Giants.
Well, I guess we're 1 for 1 on unsportsmanlike penalties here tonight.
So I think, don't they tack it on to the kickoff?
I would think that's where they tack that on.
Blue Devils will go for the 2-point conversion. 9:40 to go here in our third quarter. So it took the Blue Devils 2 minutes and 20 seconds to move right down the field, starting from their own 37. So it's a 63-yard Blue Devil drive for the touchdown. Foy trying to get to the edge, and we've got a holding penalty coming. Foy will get in for the 2-point conversion, but I think they're going to call a Blue Devil hold on the edge. And they'll move them back the 10 yards, and they'll have to try the conversion again.
Well, Bo Foy certainly has had a big night back there at the quarterback position, although he's playing the quarterback position as another fullback, just plowing through the line. The holding call there on the 2-point conversion.
They'll move it back to the 15-yard line.
Definitely taking their time right now. I'm guessing that not only are both teams a little rusty, people up here on our staff are a little rusty, and the stripes are rusty.
Flatley will go in motion. Here's Foy. He's going to throw the ball for Yuso, and it's knocked away right at the goal line. So the 2-point conversion fails. Teams will head back upfield. We'll take a break. There'll be a Blue Devil kickoff as Virginia has opened up a 28-point lead over the Mesabi East Giants. Boys, it's been a rough night.
It's a good thing Johnny football's not rusty.
Oh yeah, Johnny's on top of his game down there.
I can't hear you.
We're having a rusty show tonight. First week. You're on a roll, baby. I love it. I love it. Well, we'll wait for the Blue Devil kickoff as Josh Doherty now will kick it off as they'll march off the 15-yard penalty against the Giants. So he'll kick off from the 45. Boy, I'm hoping Josh's relatives are watching tonight. I know during the hockey season they watched quite a few of our hockey games last winter. Relatives out on the East Coast, and
well, I'm sure they are. Get an opportunity to see a nice kick here. This nice movement in their zone here into their half of the field. Good kick.
Taken at the 10-yard line. That's James, and James is going to be taken down near the 17, maybe the 18-yard line. Josh James, number 20, returns that kick, and now the Giants will put the ball in play. Their first possession here in the second half. See that defense? Let's see any changes at all up front. Looks like 61 is now in there again. That's Anthony Hall. 28 is Hinsman. 9 is Foy. and 71 is Herberg. Those are the front four now for the Blue Devils.
Chris Mason on the secondary. You got Riley Dishnu back there.
Man comes in motion. Handoff play coming to this side with some running room for Gravette. Gets out over the 25, and it looks like he's got a close to a 10-yard gain. Looks like just short of 10, so it'll be second and short.
We got Jordan Checo playing middle linebacker. And you also got Carter Crandall in there as well.
Looks like 50 also. Cole Raymond is playing an outside linebacker. Suler will go out wide to the left side. Again, they go with 4 wide, 2 on each side. Ball's on the right hash mark. James is the motion man. Straight ahead, that's Gravette again, and he will get a Giants first down to the 29, almost the 30. Now Bialke will come in and play defense, and Jack Zupich will come to the sidelines.
Well, as much as Coach Creamers is doing a great job moving guys in and out on the offense, Coach Cornell is doing the same with the defense, getting guys in and out of there, getting some experience in there.
So important to do that early in the season if you have a chance, and that's what the coaches have had tonight with the 28-point lead. James gets the hand up trying to get to the 8. Oh, Hinsman with the defensive play. Nobody touched him coming across the line. Man, how do you let a defensive lineman just penetrate like that? Just a missed block.
That just looked like a miscue there just by, oh, he came right around the outside.
Yep.
That looked like a stunt. He wasn't supposed to go. Normally, he doesn't go through that gap, and it looked like he stepped out and went around to the other gap. Sometimes throws confusion into that offensive line with their blocking schemes.
Helander comes way out wide to the right. Draws Bialke single coverage. Here's the pass. And it was knocked down again. It looks like we're going to have a penalty. Again, it comes from where they normally will call holding. Oh, chop block is called.
We'll take that call. Gonna move him back a little bit now.
They'll move him back, so it remains second down, but it'll be back inside the 15-yard line. Let's see where it's going to go down to about the 12-yard line. 11 Giant penalties tonight. Wow. Second down and a long ways to go. You're going to need a 4-iron to get a first down. Although for Reed, you're probably going to need your 3-wood, right? Pass is caught, a slant pass out over the 20-yard line. If it was me, it'd probably be about a 7-iron. For Beidel, it'd probably be a wedge.
Oh, Beidel.
For you, it would be a 3-wood.
Throwing out Beidel jokes.
Third and long for the Giants. They have to get near the 40-yard line. Baraboo now is just going to tuck it in and run. He'll get 8 yards, and it's going to set up 4th down and 10. Bialke and Fink will drop back to receive this punt. Boy, you got 2 burners going back.
Some pretty quick feet back there right now.
Let's see if the Giants can get off a decent snap. They've had some trouble with their snaps. This one is a good one. Gravette will get it away. This is Bialke near the 37-yard line, avoids a couple of Giants. Another one. Now we're going to have a block in the back. They'll move the ball back inside, well, just right on the 35-yard line, so that's where Virginia will start. 1st and 10, 6:09 to go in the third quarter.
This is starting to remind me of the first quarter with all the penalties.
Zupids is checked back in running the offense. Ball carrier coming this way. Is that Crandall, number 40? Play goes for about 3. Cody Herman. Second down and 7 for Virginia. Again, Tommy Carmody will come out wide to the left side. Slot man on the right. Again, Herman Volker, fumble! And the Giants get it. Inside the Blue Devil 40-yard line. Second Virginia turnover of the night. First and 10 Giants. Ball's on the Virginia 39-yard line. James will go in motion. Baraboo is cut down behind the line of scrimmage. Boy, the two big guys in on the play. 63 and 9, Foy and Kennedy. Loss of a couple.
I'm guessing that when the video goes to Moose Lake here, they're going to notice that they're not going to probably run off the ball to the right side when you got big 63 and big number 09er there on the end. Scouting report, if they do their scouting report well, they're going to want to counter off the other side as much as they can. But again, they're still going to run into Hintzman and Uso on the other side, so.
Yeah, I think your defense is much improved. You know, you've got kids that have played a couple years now. They understand the system. And
well, kids not only that have played, but have actually worked pretty darn hard doing some things in the offseason here to get stronger.
This is a pretty good defensive unit for the Blue Devils. They've got size, they've got speed, and they've got depth.
They got skill, too.
Yes. Baraboo pitches the ball back to James. Tries to get to the edge, cuts back in, reads his blocking, and he's going to get a big run down inside the Blue Devil 25.
Well, the Giants picking up a little bit of some late game momentum here.
Probably the best run of the night. That one went for 18 yards on the ground. They've got an 18-yard run on the ground and a 60-yard pass in the air.
Well, they're doing some good things here in the second half, Bob. They struggled with penalties in the first half and turnovers, and you've seen a lot less of that. In fact, they're a plus in the turnover category, forcing us to turn the ball over here just in our last series.
1st and 10 for the Giants. Here's Baraboo running the option play. Fumbles. Let's see. Referee comes in, looks to see who's got the ball. No signal yet. Now the Giants did retain possession. 4 minutes and 40 seconds to go in our third. 28-0 in favor of the Blue Devils.
You see, now if that was Virginia that I was talking about that hasn't turned the ball over, I wouldn't have said anything. I would have kept it to myself. It was wishful thinking, being as I'm a Virginia fan, and talking about the fact they hadn't turned the ball over. They almost did.
2nd down and 11 for the Giants. Again, the Giants going with that spread. They got 4 wide, 2 on each side. Baraboo from the shotgun. Short drop, roll over the middle, and it is knocked away. They tried to hit Josh James.
Great defensive play by Chris Mason back there in the secondary. Perfect timing. You can't get in there too early. Pass interference could happen that way, but he gets there just on time when the ball is connecting. Receiver had to reach a little bit to get it. He gets right in the way. Great defensive play back there at the safety position.
3rd down for the Giants. Just outside the 21-yard line. Baraboo throwing the ball underneath, and the play will go for a very short gain. Flatley in on the stop for the Blue Devils. Gain of about 4. And it's 4th down. Next Friday night, we'll be right back here at the stadium as the Blue Devils and Moose Lake Willow River. As they say, the Running Rebels.
The Running Rebels.
Yeah.
I look forward to seeing that football team. I haven't seen them play before. Like I said earlier, Virginia met up with them in the playoffs quite a few years before I got here.
Here's Baraboo. Pass is incomplete. Nice defensive play by Bialke, and the Blue Devils will take the ball over on downs. Baraboo, the quarterback, 3 for 15 with 1 interception, 72 yards tonight.
Well, he's definitely made it a lot more interesting the second half. Of course, the first half was a snooze fest for both teams, so I guess it didn't really matter anyways. Second quarter was a big quarter for the Blue Devils, whereas now third quarter, I'm not going to say it's a big quarter for Mesabi East, but they're definitely putting themselves in some better field position here with a chance at the end zone if the Blue Devils can't get up the field here.
Jack Zoop is back in at the quarterback. He's got wideouts on both sides. Handoff coming through the line. The ball carrier gets some running room. That's Dawson Flatley. Dawson got almost 10.
And here was some more depth that we're showing here in the backfield for the Blue Devils. Dawson Flatley back there.
Well, I thought it was almost 10. It was 10, so it's a first down.
You've got so many guys back in those skill positions there that they can just keep going back and forth with people. You've got Tanner Hinsman that plays fullback. You got Dawson Flatley. Got a couple other guys that could stick in there too if they want. Might as well.
Oh, Flatley gets wrapped up and knocked down behind the line of scrimmage. Sam Chapman from his defensive end position makes the play for the Giants. Loss of about 3. Fink will go out wide. Erie on him defensive. Here's the inside handoff to Bialke, but the Giants played that one very well. 64 Sam Chapman again in on the stop. Under 2 minutes to go in our third quarter. The Blue Devils with the only points in this quarter. Neither team scored in the opening quarter. Virginia with 22 in the second and have added 6 more here in the third. Now Fink will come left. Bialke will go to the right side. Backs are set in the eye. And we've got motion on the Blue Devils. Maybe offside on the Giants. They call it against Virginia. That is their 7th penalty of the night. 65 yards against Virginia. Giants with 11 for 85.
It's starting to be a little bit of deja vu from the first quarter. I think this is the same place where we were stuck in the first quarter. This part of the field couldn't move. Penalties back and forth. Again, you stay in one spot in the field, you get penalties back and forth. It's just boring to watch. The composure's got to come together. You got to get the discipline lined up, figure out the count, hold your ground, move the ball.
Bialke coming this way with a block. Avoids a tackle, and he's going to get still going. And now we got a flag.
My guess is that's going to be on a Blue Devil running back there. Sounded like a little bit of a taunt. And that is not going to make Coach Creamers happy.
No, it's not. And they're going to march the yardage off the Blue Devils after the run, after the first down. Now they'll march the 15 yards off.
Well, I'm glad we cut the replay off at the point when the ball went down instead of a few seconds later, because if you'd have seen that, you'd seen our running back maybe do a little bit of a little extra jawing at the defensive player there after he made a great play. Not something that Coach Creamers is going to take lightly. In fact, I think he's having a conversation with him right now. Definitely a learning experience for the first game of the season here. Keep your composure.
They'll put the ball back at the 32-yard line. Fink again will go out wide to the right. Draws single coverage. That's Erie on him. Hand off first man through. That's Hinsman. And Tanner gets some tough yards in the middle. About 6. Blue Devils back set in the eye. Here's Hinsman again, the ball carrier. Gets to the 40-yard line. It's going to set up 3rd and 1. From the 40-yard line, Hinsman again, and he'll get a Blue Devil first down. Hinsman, and Hinsman. 17 first downs tonight for the Blue Devils. Read unofficially, I've got 237 yards on the ground tonight for Virginia.
That's not too shabby.
No.
For
second game of the year.
Game of the year.
Here's Zupitz on a keeper trying to get outside, and Giants weren't going to go away on that play. Cole Meyer with the defensive play, and that's the way our third quarter is going to end here from the stadium. We've played 3. Virginia on top of Mesabi East by a score of 28-0.
Well, we certainly can't get out of this one soon enough.
The P.S. Engman Agency is a family-owned business that has served the area with compassion and quality service for over 100 years. We are grateful for their fine support of Blue Devil Sports on Channel 5.
Here we go, our final 12 minutes. Virginia with a 28-0 lead over the Giants. Doherty will come in motion. Zupich throw the ball wide open is Fink. Now it's a foot race. Fink is at the 30, the 25, the 20, 15. Gets forced out of bounds. Nobody defensively was on him. I don't know if they just fell asleep and didn't realize that 20 was out there.
That was interesting. I think it appeared as if he was so wide that he may have even been standing on the sideline. It looked kind of like a little bit of a trick play, to be honest with you.
Play goes for 37 yards and a Blue Devil first down.
It looked like they snuck him in from the sidelines there.
Oh, now we got some movement on Virginia. First and 15. Doherty's out wide to the right. He'll now come in motion. Pitch back goes to Flatley. Reads his block, cuts back in, and Flatley still going inside the 15-yard line.
Showed some good power there. Kept his feet moving. Probably could have got stood up there with about a 3 or 4 yard run. He kept pumping his feet. As you can see, he sees some resistance there, and he just keeps pumping his feet, gets another 3-4 yards out of it.
Second down and 5. Ball's on that left hash mark. Fink is wide to the left. Play goes straight ahead and a touchdown. Tanner Hitzman scores. A 15-yard touchdown run for Hinsman. And with 11:10 to go in our game.
And coach doing a real good job of mixing it up as who's carrying the ball. You had Flatley carrying it at the fullback position. Before that, you got Hinsman carrying it. You've had Bialke carrying the ball. You've had Herman carrying the ball. He's really mixing it up.
And now here's what you talk about. They're going to try the point after touchdown by placement, and Virginia a little bit unorganized on this extra point, so they elected to take a timeout, talk things over, get things situated the right way.
This is a great time to take that timeout so that you can get set up for it. They haven't had their field goal team out there or extra point team out there the entire night. We talked about the loss of Connor Cusick last year. He was a pretty big contributor to the team. Was kickoff, it was punt, it was field goal, extra point. This is the first time they've had extra point field goal team on the field. So smart timeout by Coach Kramer's here to get set up, give him the time to get it the way he wants it, get him some confidence, have him make one here.
Zupids will hold. Josh Doherty will try to make it 35-0. Straight on kicker. Ball's down. Kick is up, and it is good.
Well, it went across the bar, went over the top of the bar, Bob. It looked a little bit like a vital pitching wedge, but you know what? It made it.
That's all that matters. So it's 35-0. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back. We'll have the Blue Devil kickoff. This is Blue Devil football on Mesabi Community Television.
Local television programming is now available to everyone through MesabiCommunityTV.com. From our main page, you can find all of our live sports broadcasts, simultaneously streamed over YouTube, the High School Cube, and also live on Channel 5 Public Access. Archived sporting events are also available on our website for Chisholm, Mountain Iron, Virginia, and Mesabi East schools. You can also download all of these events by going to your selected event, clicking on the share icon, and then clicking on the address on the center of the screen. There, you will find your download button. Another exciting feature at MCTV is our new Roku channel, which provides the best viewing experience for all of our on-demand programming right on your television screen. Simply make a one-time purchase of your Roku device, plug it into your HDMI input on your TV, and search for Mesabi Community Television. Either from our webpage or from your Roku, you will also be able to watch area council meetings, school board meetings, or area concerts. From our main page, you may also view our entire community bulletin board.
Well, the kickoff is returned by Gravette to the 35-yard line, and now we'll be in running time with a 35-point differential with 10 minutes and 20 seconds to go. Here is Gravette, and he gets cut down after a gain of about 3. Giants next week will be traveling to Hinckley. Blue Devils next week will be hosting Moose Lake Willow River.
Right here at home.
Home of the Blue Devils.
And they get a little bit more than a week before they play again, which is kind of nice.
Yes.
You get a Thursday, and then you get a week and a day before you play again.
Here's a handoff to Gravette. They trap him behind the line of scrimmage, and Gravette gets out of the trap and gets some positive yardage. Third and 3.
I'm trying to figure out what exactly the pattern is that Coach Kramers and Coach Cornell are using as far as bringing guys in and out. If they're alternating a series here or with a group of guys and then bringing in another series of guys, what they're doing, I haven't figured out what the pattern is yet, but whatever it is, I like it. They're getting guys in there. They're utilizing guys on offense and on defense. It's kind of been the story of the night, and lots of different guys scoring points for us tonight.
And the nice thing is, when you get a victory, you get the guys coming back to practice again,
Yeah, happy and excited for. It's been quite a long time. I don't know how many years. We might be able to dig and come back with that stat next weekend, but I don't know how many years it's been since Virginia has started the season 2-0.
Yeah, it's probably been a few years, and
it's definitely been a couple.
And I would imagine every week now it's going to get tougher and tougher as the season moves on. The teams are going to get a little stronger. They're going to start facing. They're going to have to start continuing to play good football, making their reads.
Well, you got to give Mesabi East a little credit here because they didn't roll over and die on you. I know the scoreboard says 35-0, but they had some moments there where the ball was sitting in a kind of a stalemate position. I really think that if they can get rid of the turnovers and the penalties, I think this game is within a couple of scores. I don't think it's as bad as it looks on the scoreboard. if they can eliminate that. So again, them that being their first game of the season, you said they didn't play last week?
Correct.
Definitely going into their second game of the season, I would think that they'd be a little cleaner.
Second quarter is the quarter that hurt the Giants tonight. Here's an inside handoff. Coming this way is James. And Dawson Flatley with the defensive play stayed at home and comes up with the tackle. Third down and long, under 7 minutes to go in running time from the stadium. Again, no score after the first quarter. Blue Devils led 22-0 after the first half, 28-0 after 3, and then have added 7 here in the final quarter to get a 35-0 lead. Baraboo has had his hands full all night with the Blue Devil pressure. Here's a pass to Meyer, and he's going to get taken down. Cole's 5'9", he's only a sophomore.
Yeah, you mentioned it there as far as the quarterback. They're getting a lot of pressure from our front four guys. I think our front four guys are a force to be reckoned with, especially the guys we started the game out with, but definitely we've got some depth at that position too.
Fourth down for the Giants. They're on the Blue Devils side of the 50. Baraboo rolling right side, again getting some pressure, throwing the ball downfield, and it is almost picked. Mason played it nicely.
I can't help but to bring that up every single time that happens. You want to say great play to the defensive back for knocking the ball down, but I can't get Jim Molosky out of my ear. Larson, if you can touch it, you better catch it.
Again, at that last play, you saw that Baraboo under pressure. 28 Hinsman was coming after him.
Yeah, no question about it. I mean, he's going to dump that thing off when he's got that kind of pressure coming at him. And again, as a high school kid, I'm going to give Chris Mason credit because I like that. It's never bad to knock the ball down and make a defensive play.
Blue Devils have changed quarterback now. It's Jack Toman who is taking over the show for the Blue Devils. Number 2, he's a freshman. Also in the lineup, 32 is Landon McCarty. He's going out wide to the left as Coach Kramers now is getting some 9th graders in. And now we got some movement on the Blue Devils.
Getting some of the 9th graders in, and it looks like we're getting in some of the guys that, some JV guys too as well that are getting some playing time here, and some guys that didn't play, even some older kids that maybe didn't get a chance to play earlier on in the game, and that's the greatest part about high school sports. When there is a big score differential, you get the opportunity to get everybody a little bit of time out there.
1st and 15, coming up on 4 minutes to go. Running time here in the fourth quarter. Tolman will hand off to 25. Looks like Jacob Gibson, the ball carrier. He goes for about 7. Saturday, the Norsemen will open up their season right here at the stadium. Come on out and watch Mesabi Community College play Fond du Lac. That'll be Saturday afternoon right here. And again, our next telecast will be Friday night as we'll be back with Blue Devil football as they'll take on Moose Lake Willow River. Third down and 6 for the Blue Devils. Try to check some more of the substitutions. 67, Anthony Starkey is in the offensive line. Number 19 is now playing. That's Jacob Peterson. Try to pick up a few more of these substitutions as they're getting a chance to play tonight. Number 12 is Ryan Scherf. He's in a slot on the left side. Here's Toman rolling left side, looking downfield. He's throwing the ball, and it is incomplete. Not sure if he's intending for Peterson or if it was for Scherf. They were both open that time, too. So it's 4th down, and now Virginia will bring their punt team out.
And it's comedy hour up here in the booth. It's always fun with our crew here. We've got Dar on the far end. We got Buddha. We got all the guys on the cameras. We got Terry, the little voice in my head, I like to call him. And we got Bob sitting here to the right.
Ball is going to be down inside the 15 to about the 12-yard line. All I know is that fella to my right who's got that beautiful Detroit Red Wings jacket on is going to lose it pretty soon.
Well, I'll tell you what. If we're not having any fun up here, I don't know what the heck we're doing, because it's always fun sitting next to Bob Cohn here. He's got that grin on his face all the time. And, boy, if you could see this crew, folks, that's up here, it's a good thing the camera's facing the field.
Clock is running, and we're down to our final 60 seconds. We're going to wrap up real quick on this Thursday night. 35-0. Ball carriers coming this way. This is James with some running room. Gets to the corner, and it's off to the races. Is James going to win the race? He sure is. All the way for a touchdown. That'll be 89 yards. I got it unofficially as an 89-yard touchdown. It looked like the ball was on the 11-yard line.
Well, regardless, that still gives our guys some good experience. I know that we talked about some younger players being in there for this last quarter. You know what? It's nice to put the 0 on the board, but in my opinion, when the score is this lopsided, it's nicer to get kids out there.
Absolutely. 100%. I agree with you. Yep. Giants will go for the 2-point conversion. Quarterback is Adam Erie. He's rolling to the right, throwing the ball, and a 2-point conversion as Josh James catches the pass. And it's 35-8 with 25 seconds to go in our football game. Well, let's start recapping here as our game is coming to an end. Unofficial statistics in the game. I got the Blue Devils with 271 yards on the ground tonight and 52 through the air. Giants with 161 on the ground and 76 on the air. Through the air, that is. Penalties. Virginia with 10 tonight for 90 yards. Giants with 11 for 85. Both teams with 2 turnovers. First downs, Virginia with 19. The Giants with 6. And again, recapping the scoring here, Fink caught a 15-yard pass from Zupids. Herman then on a 3-yard run. Hintzman on the 2-point conversion. Foy then scored the next 8. First on a 4-yard run, and then the conversion. Foy again then on a 10-yard run. The 2-point conversion failed. Hintzman from 15 yards out. Doherty with the PAT. And now finally an 89-yard touchdown run by James of the Giants. And he catches the conversion pass from Erie. 35-8. Baraboo will kick off. Bialke from the 10. And he's going to be taken down just out over the 25-yard line. And now the Blue Devils will just take one snap, take a knee, and our football game will be in the books, and Virginia will go to 2-0 on the season. The Giants will fall to 0-1.
You know, it's like we said earlier here, just just about a half a quarter ago. It's been a little while since the Blue Devils have had a 2-0 start. Lots of smiles on the faces. Kids were coming out of the pizza feed last night over at the Miners with smiles on their faces. They're excited going into the second game of the year, 1-0. Coach Kramers has a smile on his face. Just a great start for this group of kids.
Well said tonight, Reed. We've had a lot of fun. We had some technical difficulties, but we made it through our first game. We know things will get better as the season progresses. Some of our new equipment is making its way into town, and once everything gets situated, we will have an A-plus show for our viewers. Hope you enjoyed, though, tonight's telecast. I enjoyed myself up here in the booth, and we want to thank Darwin Buda and Dave on our cameras tonight. Terry Hardica, our producer and director, for Reed Larson. I'm Bob Cohn, thanking you for viewing tonight's live telecast on Channel 5 Mediacom Public Access and also on Mesabi Community Television. Once again, our final score tonight on this Thursday night from the stadium, Virginia 35 and Mesabi East 8. Good night, everyone.